Hey guys and gals, Robert Henry from the survivalreport.net. Wanted to talk to you a little bit and give you a class review from a medical class recently took, Armageddon Medicine. Armageddonmedicine.net put on a class down in St. Mary's, Georgia here not too long ago, end of January. Dr. Cynthia, she put that class on, and excellent class, 3-day class. I'm going to go over some of the stuff that we did in there and everything, and show you her book and some of the other material she puts out and all that good stuff. I wanted to start by saying that I've attended quite a few, pretty much everyone out there, save for a couple in the Midwest. Tactical, survival medicine, all that sort of things, civilian available type classes over the years, beginning all the way back in the long ago in a galaxy far away in the 80s, venturing all the way out to Arizona to go to base operations school in middle of the desert. Really, that was a really fun week out there, learning from some SF docs and things like that. In the long ago, I had some pictures here from a bunch of old school stuff. So I just wanted to say that basically to make mention of the fact that essentially I've been to these sorts of classes before, so I kind of had a comparison. Oftentimes, when people don't really have a comparison to talk about, it's like, oh, this class was great and I learned a lot, and it's not really overly helpful. To really give it a comparison type basis and that as well too. But Dr. Cindy had a really good class. It was great for me because I've been exposed to a lot of trauma medicine type material and things like that. But a lot of her class seemed to be really geared toward more of a home health, not so much an emergency as in, the guys right in front of me with the, sucking chest wound type emergency medicine, and that's good. Okay, there's several sides of it if we really want to be, well-rounded in survival medicine. It's more than just, knowing how to put on a cat tourniquet and, drag them behind a barricade. And it's also more than, than that. It's, what do you do with the person once you have gotten them back to your retreat or your safe area or something like that. So you really have to be well-rounded in both the emergency medicine, trauma medicine type aspects of things, the battlefield type medicine aspects of things, as well as the the nursing and long-term care. Let's face it, guys, we're not soldiers. We're not going to our primary concern is a lot more than just get the guy medevaced and get him, stabilized and deal with massive hemorrhaging and things like that. We're preparing for a time when there isn't a doctor, period. And in that regard, I really feel it's important to be very well-rounded as far as, the home health care, type stuff, the, like the clinical procedures and things like that, the splinting and casting. That was pretty cool, actually. That was really neat, especially from coming from someone who likes to do combative sports and is always getting various sprains, dislocations, and broken bones and things like that. So we'll be trying some of that at home here not too long from now, I'm sure. But that's orthopedics is a big part of what we're going to be doing, and knowing how to cast. Bubba there that never carried his gear very much, and now he's out working with you in the field, and maybe he's 50 or 100 pounds overweight and he's not in good shape and all that good stuff as well. Now he's out there and he's busting his hump, and all of a sudden maybe he's got a broken leg or something like that. That's aspects of things we have to know about. So going over her class was really good because, again, I think for me it helped filled a void of certain things that I was missing, like some of the the clinical procedures, the tests and things like that. We did a lot of neat stuff with things like urinalysis. Let me see if I can find that here. This is the outline that she gave us with the class and all that good stuff. So there was a lot of handout material in that as well too. Strep throat. Diagnosis and treatment, how to use the strep test kits and things like that. It isn't all going to be about, playing Rambo, guys. you know, going out and shooting an active shooter and, you know, like I said, you know, throw a cat on the guy and drag him behind a barricade and get him out of there type of thing. You know, while that's important, you know, and again, that's one aspect of this, of truly survival medicine that we have to know. The other aspect of it is the stuff like this, is, you know, a kid in your retreat group, somebody's child, you know, goes and sticks a BB or some craziness in his ear. You know, now what? You know, oh, sorry, little Johnny, I know how to use hemostatic agents and things like that, but I don't really know how to dig that out of your ear. You know, that's not an option as far as, you know, truly survival medicine and everything goes. And I don't know how much of this she wants to, she would be willing for me to show on video, so I'm not going to go over, you know, flip through this entire thing. And of course, she covered a lot more than this, you know, at the class, but a lot of the diagnosis and clinical type procedures and stuff not being in the, you know, not working regularly in the medical industry, and that for me was really neat to know, like EKGs. We looked here at you know, heart rhythms and various things like that, and you know, of course, she'd say, well, I don't have an EKG machine, and if the stuff hits the fan, I'm probably not going to have one, and yada yada yada. You know, what was cool is she brought stuff like a small, I want to say she said it was about 50 or $100 or something like that, battery powered handheld EKG machine. Now, was it, you know, is it going to be as good as what you might get in the hospital or something like that? No, but you know, it gets you, kind of gets you in the ballpark in that as well too. So, you know, it was we did you know, we did various blood testing and things like that, which again, and then she went over stuff like what all you can tell from this. Guys, this is going to be important. I mean, does the dude in your group have strep? Okay, well, you know, do you treat him with antibiotics or not? You know, and again, the common survival triage says, oh, precious antibiotics, you know, but there's a lot of other considerations other than that. How much is it going to put the group down? If there's only, you know, 6 or 7 guys or 6 or 7, you know, people, because, you know, chicks can fight as well too, and I know many a good chick fighters. But, you know, if there's only 6 or 7 folks that can pull guard duty and run patrols and that, and, you know, Todd there is down for a couple days with strep, you know, guess what? It's going to put a burden on everybody else, because somebody's going to have to pull, you know, a couple extra hours in a guard shift every other night or every night or whatever. Somebody's going to have, the patrols are going to be short. Somebody's going to have to cut more firewood, all that sort of thing. So these are the things, you know, when we think about survival triage, these are the things that are overlooked. Everybody's like, oh, well, you know, it just take too much to treat that person, so we'll just kind of quietly let them to the side and die. That's not an option. You know, Joe might be, you know, Todd might be, you know, Joe's brother. And, you know, Joe might hold a little bit of a grudge, you know, you letting his, you know, his brother die just for lack of wanting to, you know, to spend any antibiotics on him or whatever. And that's just my take on that. That wasn't really addressed at the class or anything. But, you know, just interpersonal type things relate to, you know, to survival triage as well too. You know, so we did urinalysis type stuff, and you know, you saw all the things you can do with that. Big section on splinting and casting. That was cool in the gang, guys. I really, really enjoyed that. I should have took more pictures. I hate going to these classes and, you know, sticking a bunch of people that you don't know in pictures and going, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to throw your picture all over the net. I don't really think that's appropriate. So we typically tend not to do that, or ask people up front, hey, listen, we're going to take some pictures, you know, can you step back if you don't want to be in it or something like that. I think that's just, you know, from an offset reason, and you know, a what's the word I'm looking for, you know, privacy issue type thing. I think that's the important thing to do. But, you know, and she had materials there to buy, like for example, this you know, this materials to actually do casts, and we cast each other in there. It was pretty cool. We, you know, put casts on arms and legs and all that good stuff as well too, and learned a lot about those. Big section, pretty much a full day on suturing and minor wound surgery, minor surgery and things like that. She didn't just jump in. It was no 2-hour drive-through type thing like a lot of these places are. You know, she was very thorough in a lot of the material, and she offered a video there as well too, as far as something you could take home, and we'll talk about that another time and that too. But you know, it wasn't just a quick flyby type thing, you know, drive through class. It was, you know, it was pretty thorough, and she was very, very cognizant about helping people that needed help and working with you and stuff like that. And she worked with me a lot on that as well too. So there's a good section on that. Again, minor surgery. I talked about this. Various things that they might be small or they might seem small. Guys, this sort of thing hurts like heck. You bang your hand on an finger on a hammer because maybe you're not used to doing a lot of manual labor like a lot of us aren't, and you pick up a hammer to go put some fence on some fence posts at your retreat, and bada bing, you about break your finger off with the hammer. Just little things like that. Like I said, it's not always going to be these crazy, a dude comes in with a sucking chest wound type of thing. It's important to know that stuff as well. But again, that's not everything. We need to be well-rounded in our medical aspects, just like we're well-rounded in our training aspects. Rifle, pistol, shotgun, on the ground, a stand-up, unarmed, knife, without a knife, lethal from basically 0 yards out to 1,100 yards. I mean, that's the kind of mindset we need to have in fighting. Well, it's in the same token in medicine. We need to be able to, to do all those sorts of things. We need to be able to treat on the battlefield. We need to be able to treat at the home. We need to be able to do long-term nursing care, all that good sort of thing as well, too. And again, without the prospect of, any possible long-term help. So it was an excellent class. I was, for example, she went over like, fish antibiotics and things like that, and COPD. I mean, you know how many older folks and that, especially old school, chronic smokers and stuff like that. There's several people in my extended family that they're old school smokers, been smoking since they were like 2, type of deal. And is that right? No, I don't really think so. I don't smoke, but I'm not going to condemn them for it or whatever. But those are the sorts of things that pneumonia. 2 of them have had pneumonia. In the last 5 or 6 years. Now I know a little bit more about that, about COPD. That sort of thing. These are things that, again, guys, it's not it's not like watching Red Dawn where everybody's 18 to 30 and in prime shape and has no dependence and all that good stuff. You're going to be dealing with kids. You're going to be dealing with older folks that maybe haven't taken good care of themselves, and people with pneumonia and COPD and emphysema and all this good sort of thing as well too. She had a section on bacteriological warfare, and that was okay. I would have liked to see a little bit more in that regard. It was basically just about treatment, things like that. That would be probably one of the few negative things I'd say about the class, but I've always been really heavy into NBC type stuff, and so I would have liked to seen that covered a little bit more. But you guys got to keep in mind, for 3 days, this was a boatload of material. I mean, we were never just sitting around lollygagging. There was a lot of material presented in the course of 3 days, and that. I just wanted to throw this out there. I give Dr. Cindy props. She did a great job at this class. You can find it on the web at armageddonmedicine.net. If you just take that book title right there and throw a .net after it, and www at the start of it and everything, you'll find her, and she's got a boatload of free articles and links and all this good sort of thing on there. And then she offers classes pretty regularly in Ohio. And she said she wasn't going to be down in the Southeast again anytime soon when I asked her there at the class. But who knows, that might change. There might be a lot of interest in it and all that good stuff, and she might be willing to come back. The book is really good. The book is really really thick. I'll just go ahead and tell you a little bit about the book while we're here too. It's more or less a textbook, guys. I've heard people complain, oh, there's no pictures, and I get that. Some things do need to have pictures and everything, but it's and didn't come with the toilet paper. That's my book hold. That's my place mark bit here. But she goes over a lot of good stuff in this book. I'm only about a quarter of the way through it right now, but oops, I think I broke the spine on it there. Anywho, check out the classes, check out the book, and tell her you heard about it on the Survival Report. Again, ArmageddonMedicine.net, ArmageddonMedicine.net.